Hello, welcome to part 3 of lecture 05, where we look at the workbook window, which is part of our Microsoft Excel user interface. So our workbook window, so I hope you had some good time going through the application window, because the relationship between application window and workbook window is that the workbook window is the stage of the application window. Everything that you do, almost everything, I would say three-quarters of what you do in the application window is applied in the workbook window. What is the workbook window? So basically the workbook window, it is the place where data is stored, data is manipulated, data is visualized, data is analyzed, everything that you want to do with data. That is where you work with data. And in working with data, a spreadsheet is or organizes data in rows and columns. So as you can see, so let me open a new workbook. There's a plus sign here, as you can see, new sheet. So that is a new sheet. I could rename it and say workbook window. There you go. It's a new sheet. One and the same with this, except that there's no data. So like I was saying, a spreadsheet organizes data in rows and columns. So these are columns, and the columns are named using letters A, B, C, D, E. It goes on and on and on and on and on. I'll show you the number. This is a row. So rows also are named in numbers. If you remember, in our application window, we looked at the name box. So the name box is an intersection of a row and a column. So for example, this one, it is B2. As you can even see, B and 2 are highlighted because I'm in cell B2, and this is a cell. If I come here, F10, as you can see, F10 there. So this is how a spreadsheet or Excel organizes data in rows and columns. And as you can see, Microsoft Excel has got 1 million, you can see that number there, almost more than 1 million rows and over 16,000 columns. Billions, cells, they're in billions. You have to multiply this number times that number to have an idea of the the cells that the worksheet has. So if I go down here, so I'll use a control down arrow. So this is the last of the workbook, and as you can see the number here, as you can see on top here, so this is the number of rows. So again, I'll do control right arrow to go at the furthest. So remember, over 16,000 columns. So these are the columns. So we are at the bottom furthest. So this is the code for the furthest cell. So I'll do control up, control left to come back at the beginning. So we have moved through the entire worksheet. So I'm sure you've heard me talk about workbook, worksheet. So what is the difference? So a workbook, it's the whole Excel document. That is a workbook, which has got worksheets. Worksheets are these sheets here. And you can have, I think, almost 250 So these are worksheets which can also hold as as much data as possible. So to what capacity can Excel hold data? It can hold quite a lot until when it becomes performing slow. But there are some best practices that are advised which make it easy for you to be able to hold as much data, and that's the reason for this course. There are many people who complain that Excel becomes slow when it has a lot of data, and that lot of data they are talking about, it's because they have not really modeled it in the best way possible. So as much as what Excel can do, it can do much more, but it's because of the way they have modeled their data. So hence the reason for this course, to show you the best practices that will enable you to make maximum use of the the software. So what you can do in the workbook is basically what makes Excel very, very powerful. I talked about the grid system, which is the numbering, the way the cells are numbered, the way Excel organizes data in columns and rows, and columns are in letters A, B, C, D. When it reaches Z, it starts A, B, just like that. B, A, B, B. It goes on until the furthest. And the rows are numbered. And the rows are numbered. So we look at renaming, inserting worksheets, which I've shown you. You use this arrow here to add a new worksheet, and you can add as many worksheets. You double click to rename the particular worksheet. If you want to move it, you left hold, and as you can see, I can now move it and place it where I want with that black arrow, as you can see, like that. Left hold again. If I hold control, as you can see, it's also another way of creating a new worksheet. It will create a copy of the new worksheet, which is the same as this. Let me use it on this so that you see. So hold, left click, move, then hold control, let go. We have another, which is the same. The other way is you right click here where it says move or copy. You click on move or copy. So let's go with copy for now. So you say, okay, I want to create a copy. You select there. Where do you want to create a copy? So in this case, you can create it to a new workbook, meaning you're creating a new workbook with that sheet or in the same workbook. So let's do new workbook. I've already showed you within the sheet. So new workbook, there you go. As you can see now, it's a new worksheet altogether. So I'll need to save it, but it's like copy and paste. Let's say I want to move. Let's say I want to create a new copy in this same workbook. Yeah, there you go. As you can see, let's say I want to move it. So in this case, I will not select copy. I'll leave it the way it is. Where do I want to move it? I want to move it. Is it a new workbook or here? So movie is just like cut. So you're literally moving it away from there into the new workbook that you have specified. So you can change the colors of the worksheet. You right click. You can say I want this one to be red. As you can see, it's in red. I want this to be green. I want this to be black. I want this to be, so for visibility purposes, you can change the colors like that. So this is basically about the application window, and specifically workbook window. And going forward, we are going to be working hand in hand, application window, workbook, workbook window. So there's an exercise here you can use to play around. Open your Excel, click through all the tabs and review the commands on the ribbon. Try minimizing and maximizing the ribbon. Add a command to the quick access toolbar, navigate to backstage view and open your account settings. Try switching worksheet views, close Excel. You do not have to save the Excel. So try to do these things so that you can familiarize yourself. Pause the video, go back to part 2, go back to part 1, and make sure that you have a fundamental grip understanding on everything that has been taught in this lecture. And I guarantee you that the next lectures are going to be just like having fun and playing because you understand everything that is going on. So this marks the end of our lecture 5 for Microsoft Excel user interface. The next will now be the basics of Excel. We're going to look at Excel. We're going to look at the basics of Microsoft Excel. So see you in the next lecture. Bye-bye.